There it is. Welcome everyone to Behavior Code. We got Fernando Caro is on the show today. I'm your host, Yogi Chris, PhD, and we're talking about living inspired moment to moment, starting from early morning waking. And Fernando, right before we click record, he was taking us through some of his morning ritual and how just today, different examples of being inspired and being in spirit as the idea of being inspired. Inspiration also means to breathe in. Inspiration, expiration is breathe out. It's kind of a older modern English to talk about inspire, expire as a breathe in, breathe out. And so in spirit, breathe in your spirit. How can you inhale the spirit of life and your enthusiasm through your day? So that was pretty powerful because I like talking with you, Fernando, because you put my attention back on these ideas as we talk about it. And so you start off, you had the Alexa play some music, Wherever I May Roam. You were inspired to journal. And so what is this? Your focus has been on living, being inspired moment to moment. And it seems like there would be a trap in that where it's like, are you chasing a feeling? Or how is that different from like chasing or is it chasing a feeling? Like, what is that? Living inspired? Like, break it down for us.
Well, I'm not sure if it's a feeling or not, but it is a thought to think about that I'm alive right now. And just the simple thought of being alive is enough for me to want to do the things. There's a wantingness, an excitement. Now, if that's a feeling, then I don't know if I'm chasing it or if it's already present. But if it's present, I may use it, right? So that feeling of inspiration, I mean, to think about it, waking up at 3 a.m. as the night sky is out and, you know, it's wet, it's cold, it's misty. There's like this mysticalness to it, where it's a new way of living that keeps me engaged, keeps me in tune with my senses. And feeling inspired is the right way to describe it for me, at least today in my experience. I can't hear you.
It's really tripping me out hearing about first, the idea that a mist is mystical. I wonder if those words have like common
well, I could have gone into like the
mist is so mystical.
Of the night, but I cut it short. The description of the night, but
yeah, I mean, we can paint a picture for them.
Yeah, I could paint a picture for you. But
the other thing that I'm thinking as you're talking is, you know, living inspired, not chasing the feeling of it, but in any moment, let's say I could be bored if I'm going to do that activity, or if I change my activity, let's say I want to play basketball, I could get excited. But if I want to some money or something, that's maybe boring. But it's the same starting place because I'm like right here, and I could be like, I'm going to do that activity or that one, and that one inspires me and that one doesn't. So it's like, if I follow that each moment to moment, each decision of what activity to make, am I following the activity that brings me life or the activity that I go down about? And so it's a very interesting matrix of decisions that as we move forward, it's am I following decisions that bring me life? And then aligning the feeling of like, okay, what brings me life now? Is this an ethical thing? Is it bringing me survival? Is it bringing my family, my group, my tribe? Is it bringing humanity higher up? Or is this a very self-serving, selfish thing, just a pit of, black hole of, since whatever, life?
Right.
So that is a really cool understanding I just got from listening to you talk about it, really.
Right on. And yeah, and also just to add to that, let's see if I can maybe bring up this this small segment that I read from my book, The Art of Living. And it brought an interesting flavor to my day. But we can continue to talk on, and then I'll look for this and maybe I'll share it as a treat.
Yeah, because I'm reading that book too. I'm excited to hear what page is it?
Oh man, if I could find it.
Oh.
I had it here, but it's all good. Oh, this one. Talk about self-motherfucking discipline. This was it right here. I woke up.
Okay.
I picked my book up because this is part of the life that we live as a warrior monk, is to live by a certain book or code and practice it. How many times do people read books and allow that information to just fizzle off into space without any applicable any application to it. So I read this. I'll start reading now. Now is the time to get serious about living your ideals. And this is page 79, by the way. Once you have determined the spiritual principles you wish to exemplify, abide by these rules as if they were laws, as if it were indeed sinful to compromise them. Don't mind if others don't share your convictions. How long can you afford to put off who you really want to be? Your nobler self cannot wait any longer. Put your principles into practice now. Stop the excuses and the procrastination. This is your life. You aren't a child anymore. The sooner you set yourself to your spiritual program, the happier you will be. The longer you wait, the more you will be vulnerable to mediocrity and feel filled with shame and regret because you know you are capable of better. From this instant on, vow to stop disappointing yourself. Motherfucker, that's my word. Separate yourself from the mob, decide to be extraordinary, and do what you need to do now. And I read that in the AM, and motherfucker was I inspired. So I guess that was the root of that feeling, is having a passage to lean on, some stoicism. You're muted, brother.
Yeah, I do that. It's very interesting. Yeah, very powerful quote. And yeah, I mean, there's very little I could even add to that. Epictetus, one of my favorite passages from a video that I watch of. I got this guy. Everybody should know I got this guy. This guy's name is Fake Black Belts, right? He's got 42,000. And he bets me that Joe Biden fucking won an election. That's not even the right word for it. He stole an election. And so he's commenting. Everybody should know this guy bet me out of his 42K account that he was going to bring me on 15-minute live, talk about Trump without calling me any names. Cut me off a bunch of times or something. I don't
Trump 2020.
I don't know. But if I lose, then I got to do some things too, and whatever. And I got the agreement screenshot. So if he doesn't do it, which he probably won't, then yeah. I mean, what am I going to do? I'm just going to blast him and beta shame him. I'm going to beta blast you when you don't follow through, man.
Don't be a beta.
So, but welcome to the show. You're welcome on Zoom, and we're talking living an inspired life through Epictetus also. And I'm reading the same book, Art of Living, and really powerful. I read a lot of the things I read twice. And actually, I say a lot of everything I've read at least twice. And I read it out loud. I read it in a way that moves me. So if I start speaking in a way that's not moving to myself, then I'm not reading it right. I'm just reading as if I was reciting in school or something.
Right.
Inspirational living.
Same mundane way of learning.
What's that?
I said the same mundane way of learning, just it's like throwing spaghetti at the wall almost.
Yeah, it's like that. Like, what is that? That's actually a really creative thing to do. Have you ever thrown spaghetti at the wall?
Spaghetti, it just doesn't stick. It just falls. Without that feeling that you said.
Yeah. So that's cool. Okay, so living inspired. And, a seductive mindset. You were telling me earlier and the other day, I've at least have two memories of this. Of living out your art, that you're fully invested in the day-to-day process, finding the art. I mean, I'm using words, these might not have been your words, but it was like find the art of your expression, living the art of your expression, artistically living. Today you were talking about something about like a seductive frame of mind or seductive beingness, fully in it. And you got your real estate business that you just transferred up here. There's a lot of movement going on there. I can sense the excitement and to bring some organization and conquer a new land. It's like it feels like somebody's preparing to set sail and go conquer that island or something.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a whole.
You want to talk about that?
Totally. I mean, listen. One of the things that we do here is we fucking journal, and this is in my journal. November 16th, this was yesterday, right? And as I'm thinking of the game of real estate or the game of money, it's such a topic, it's such a commodity people want to listen to. Because if we look at the fundamental truth, everybody must be seeking resource or survival in this lifetime. Now, I started thinking, if I were in the jungle, I wouldn't be seeking money. Money wouldn't be the greatest resource of survival as it is in, normie society. If I were in the jungle, what would be my values to bring more survival? And survival in the jungle meant food, it meant shelter, it meant protection. And then I started thinking about the game of mating, where you mentioned a seductive mindset or seductive way of being. And the truth is the game of mating supersedes the game of any game, because every game that we're playing in life is a game. You there?
Oh. Yeah, I am. Totally.
And so I started thinking about, the game of mating superseding all games, because this is the game that we're playing, whether you're in some profession, if you're a real estate agent, right? Even in the game of real estate, you're playing real estate, but in that game, you're still playing the game of mating, right? You're still interacting with male and female interactions. You're still in social dynamics where the underlying truth of our mechanism, our body, is to survive and replicate. And so I don't know how I got into that, but it was just an interesting idea that this is why I'm doing the things I'm doing, is because I'm playing the game of mating just as everybody else on this planet. If you got a fucking body, this thing wants to mate. It wants to replicate its cells and push on its offspring. Now, this isn't my topic of conversation. I know you like this stuff a lot.
A lot, because this is exactly what I was going through this AM. Spent way too much time on the phone with this broad. I should not have answered her call, but it was a new experience, so I was trying it out. The newness of it was the timing of it, which was I would never accept a phone call during my beast routine. Mm-hmm. But it's like, this is the broad that the other day gave me so much resistance, and now today we're talking about her visiting out here. And
look at that.
Yeah, look at that. And maybe it never happens, but it's like, why is that even the conversation? Do you know what you said to me like a few days ago? So mind control and what you were just talking about, which was, everything in life is colored by this like impulse, this genetic motivation that every cell is looking to reproduce, first survive. That kind of goes ignored because that's like, it's a given. And especially if you're a guy, it's a given because your survival is increasing through time. So you just ain't worried about it. She has a different anxiety about the future than you do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just inborn. You must recognize the difference and then play on that fear, literally play on that insecurity. Because why? Because that's the game, and also because nobody's doing it, and also because it's actually for her good. So ethically, it's super easy to reason it. Why that?
Mm-hmm.
This girl I was just on the phone with, last thing I'll say, right before we were talking, you heard the end of the conversation. I think right before you got on, she said something about, because we were talking the other day, but she hung up like kind of abruptly, and I thought it was like, maybe that was a sensitive topic or something like granola that we were talking about. And she was, today it comes out that there was some homeless guy that was walking up to her and her daughter to help her put groceries in the car for, like, she was hustling, this guy was hustling for that.
Whoa.
And I was like, hell yeah, you got to go. And then a minute later, I think, no, actually, you need to stay on the phone with me the next time that happens. Like, why would you get off the phone? Like, you need to make it more loud and be like, hey, what are you doing? Like, no, I don't want your help. I'm on the phone with my boyfriend right now. Like, get the fuck away. Yeah. And even though I'm not the boyfriend, but that guy needs to know that there's a boyfriend, there's some bodyguard, defense, there's some threat of violence. And if he doesn't back off, like, woman needs to have a bodyguard like that. At least that role, like that's a hat that I can put on. I'm not just a bodyguard, but definitely I'm guarding that body. At least that's the thing. I like her. She's nobody to me, but she's somebody that we're talking, and it inspired me to say that. Talk about inspirational living. What am I inspired to say?
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to get a control rein on that, because I might be inspired to say something foolish, like I love. when you don't, you're just feeling something, and she's going to go on that. And, so having there's a difference between, anyway, this is like me is a thing, but the difference between like feeling the inspiration and then what do you speak? Like there needs to be some control of that. But, so yeah, everything's motivated by that thing. by that survival and then replication. And, you know, if we miss that, I mean, that's why I was before that girl. I was talking to this other girl. She's 47, beautiful 47-year-old, like
Hey,
for 40.
I've had 46, beautiful as well too, you know, so.
But been hustling so hard for 2.5 decades to make it her own, doesn't know how to solve it, and completely enmeshed in the mind control machine of the communist left. Just like complete, even though we get along until we talk about anything like that. Well, why is that? You feel my protective vibe and soften up and be submissive when we're talking about anything except Corona. All of a sudden, you're a genius on Corona. You're a fucking doctor, amazing. You know, it's just that's a lost woman. There's no hope for her. She's gonna find the only mating for her is a weaker man, and that is a bodyguard. A weaker man, she just keeps around as a bodyguard. He's not a leader. He's not a king. He's a bodyguard. So she'll always have roaming eyes when she's with a man like that.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, you see these violations in social settings all the time, man. But, you know, that's the nature of the game. It is what it is. She's done, man. We got a question here. I'm going to read it from Real Estate Jose. What are some key questions to ask others to make them become more aware of who it is they are? I can't see. It's too long, Jose. Who they are across with the PROC. What are some key questions?
Who they are? Oh, it cuts off. Is it too long?
Yeah, it's too long.
I don't know.
I guess.
I don't know.
Question. We'll answer this question is, what are some key questions to ask others? What are some key questions you would ask to make others become more aware of maybe some things they're not aware of? Let's say someone with lack of hygiene or lack of understanding in your ideals or the way you live, you know. Why are you a warrior monk, Yogi Chris? I don't know, give me examples. Maybe that's not the best example.
Yeah, I think a lot of, I mean, it's going to come down to your tonality. And after that, it's going to be, you know, especially making sure we're talking about the same words, like we're defining words the same. So someone says, are you going to be a warrior monk? Well, we got to talk about, like, what is a warrior? What is a monk? Yeah. Like, what comes to you? A lot of times it finds out that they weren't even really that interested in what you think. They were just interested in you knowing what they think about it. They got a lot to say about what a warrior is. They don't got a lot of
that sounds like
saying to listen onto what you think it is. Yeah. You know? So the question, they're like, Real Estate Jose, like, why do you, I don't know. What's the question they ask you? I don't want to just like make shit up, you know?
Yeah, I don't even know if he's on anymore. Yeah, he's not even on.
Oh, man. Real Estate Jose, you should have come to Zoom. I think we met my quota. I said we were going to have, what, like 5 or 6 Beast Camp guys on here. We got Najim. He's here, Beast Camp, live alumni. Rick E., live alumni. Shamir, live alumni. And online over here, we had Troy Abreu, live alumni boot camps. What's that?
No, I was talking to Instagram. Just giving a shout out.
Instagram. Your rhythm. Here's the Fernando rhythm. I'm going to talk. Man, I wish I could do your accent. You just got this like SoCal accent. I don't know how to do that. But there's a rhythm. There's a rhythm that's Fernando. And it's the way that Fernando talks. He doesn't break this rhythm. It's like a way that Fernando, it's like trains me. If I relax a little bit, I just slip into it. So
that's funny. That's
what I said to her. All right. So anything from the audience, it's actually really cool to if they're because you guys you're on the vibe, like you know what's up, what's some growth and change and progress that's going on in your life. Like I'm following inspiration like Fernando's talking about, and what needs to come up is responsibility and just absolute discipline, like every fucking moment. I remember talking with Nico several episodes ago when I had him on. And it's like every moment. I don't even know if that's what he talked about. For some reason, he just came up in my mind. Every activity has to be integrated in. I don't know if it's like greater purpose. I think that's like awesome if it was that. And that's definitely an ideal and a word to use. But it's like it makes sense. I'm practicing something. It's integrated, so it's like it somehow relates to the other things I'm doing. So it relates to me to talk with girls on the phone. It relates to me to get girls to come out here. It relates to all of my business, everything I'm doing with IMC, everything I do with mindful yoga. The satisfaction of mating and the true value that you give to the world in the process of vocally seducing a woman. Meaning, I'm not using drugs, I'm not using alcohol, I'm not using touch, like I'm not massaging her into, like that might be a little component somewhere. But I mean, there was a time when I was like doing acro yoga or professional massage that it was like, you seduce a woman from that. And just take a little bit of words, and the words just bridge a little gap is all it is. But here I'm taking a woman that doesn't know me from like totally, like we haven't even met in many cases.
Mm-hmm.
Just communication of words. I'm going to take her through all the steps that arrives her body here, and then we have relations, and then maybe we continue the relationship or whatever.
Right.
And the process of doing that, because I know why it makes sense for her to do that, but I got to get her to know why it makes sense. And I can't bully her into it making sense. I got to convince her in a way that's entertaining enough to keep her attention, because she's a little girl. Like there's so many things coming at her. And that makes me much sharper, because I see the gaps in my own understanding where I've just taken for granted that that's how it is. And my delivery, it sharpens, it improves. She is like the sharpening stone and I'm the axe. And then I'm much cleaner with the world, and it's a sharper cut with the world. And every woman improves me like that, which makes me better in all the other walks. So
that's a very nice analogy to put it that way.
Yeah.
You know, she's going to bring out all the weaknesses within herself. So, you know, that constant practice, you got to be perfect. Your life has to be the perfect story. You know, because if not, then you're going to constantly be walking on eggshells with all your weaknesses seeping out.
Damn. And that's a fucking shameful life. And that's embarrassing. And it's so suppressed. And man, ain't that the truth? Man, like I wish I had said to that 47-year-old broad, like, because here's the thing. She says about Corona, I've had some people die. She started, you can hear the tear almost welling in her eye. I've had some people die from Corona, blah, blah, blah. What do you say to a person like that? Like, I wish I had said, how do you know it was Corona? Are you certain? You know there's a lot of false positives? Do you know that there was a lot of misreporting? Do you think that that's just a conspiracy theory because she'd already said that thing? At that point, if a person's going to shame conspiracy theories, and I can say because I was that consciousness, I was the person that hated 9/11 conspiracies. I thought that was so stupid, patriotic and everything. And now I'm the person saying everyone planes were holograms. Like, what a trip. I was the guy that was shaming my sister for being a vegetarian, just like outright, just like as brutal as I could be. And then I was 9 years a vegetarian, and now I eat raw meat. And it's like, whoa, dude, like your mindset can shift. No, hey there, yoga pants Jenny, you can't come live with me. You can't, you cannot, no. Keep sending me messages. I like a girl that's obsessed.
That's great, yeah.
That's what it is. I like it. Feels good. Makes me want to be obsessed. Fernando, you got anything on your end, brother, or should we wrap it up? This is too.
I mean, if you have any burning questions, I think I said what I wanted to say. Yeah, I mean, there's so many topics I can talk about, but for the sake of the lecture, I think this one's nice and juicy, compact, with perspectives to take on. You know,
Definitely some powerful perspectives. I don't even know how to write the summary for this thing. I forget what we all talked about. We really flowed. I was very inspired. It was very inspiring. Everybody, you should sign up for the Peace Camp. There's a lot of healing recordings, which is this new dating app. You could definitely get girls off this dating app in a real way that benefits her, but it's also, it plays to your strengths if you're IMC Nation, because you go live. So it's not just messaging, fucking copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, swipe, 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 swipe. You just go live, and based on your, now when you see, you're only going to get 2 or 3 or 4 people to stay on, but when you, or maybe 8 people, whatever, but when you see how ADD does it and his role playing, I immediately applied it, and I got 37 people to stay on, and it was, and you just bounce people, they send your number or get them on Instagram or something, and then we got other behind the scenes stuff. and then Beast Camp this month. What would you have to say about have you captured any of the behind the scenes? You get some evenings that I fall asleep. I'm not in the house. You know.
Yeah, Italy's great, man. It's right now with the worldwide shutdown, you don't get to see too many social interactions, too many communications. If you think about it, most people aren't communicating during these times. You know, they've kind of quarantined their minds and their souls away. And so there's so many distractions, but when you get to see someone who's a master at social dynamics and communication and words and just so many facets of this, it's a trip to see it. But I mean, to paint details and descriptive language of scenarios, I mean, you got to see it for yourself. I mean, you got to see it. If you believe in magic, this is magic.
What's that?
If you believe in
Magic, come see it for yourself.
Oh, the audio just broke through on this end. I don't know, but I guess it's working better now. So yeah, you got to come see it, man. The magic, see what words do to people and the positivity and the energy that you can create by just knowing what to say. You can create inspiration in people. If you like, there's two decisions. Like if I'm going to play basketball or I'm going to like count money, like one thing might dim my enthusiasm. One might stoke the fire. If you talk to somebody, you can stoke their fire or you can dim their fire. And you know people's genetic motivations, like Arash, he speaks to a part of you that you're not in communication with, but it is listening and it is responding. It's very powerful. It will change you just to hear these recordings. And then when you come to the Beast Camp, obviously that's just transformative next level. It's $497 online. Everybody should be at least signed up. Everybody. And if you decide you want to come live, you just add it up to the live and you just add it on there. Put it up there. Okay, so thank you, Fernando. And if you're on Spotify or catching the recording to this, definitely subscribe. Honey J, wish I was staying on longer for you, babe. I'm actually gonna keep going after I click record because I got to now. I got like 5 minutes. So that's the end of the recording, guys. If you want to have any comments or whatever, this is something I like to offer on the recordings, is that I want people to come live. So you should be following us on Instagram. Follow the Fernando Caro on Instagram. Follow Yoga Bliss Chris on Instagram. And I'll end the recording now. And then if there's any questions, comments, then we'll go into that.